from idea to product. That's what we're all here for at UAT. We're making production studio classes, we're doing our SIPs, we're creating new ideas and new products. But how do we get there? I am Ian Swanson. Recently, I've been on a team in my game classes to create tabletop and board games of Too Cute to Kill and trying to figure out how to get there. I was the programmer and designer, and this is what I learned. Everyone has great ideas, but it doesn't matter if you can't express them, especially if you're on a team. You got to know how to communicate. You got to know how to structure. So, how do you do that? First, you have to share your idea. You can have good ideas, but that's only 50% of the work. You have to be able to understand what the idea is or going to be. You have to know how to break it down, know what kind of skills or resources you need, assign tasks, and dates for coordinating when you're on a team. It's not just that. Once you understand what you need, you got to know who you need. You have to know what type of people with what type of skill sets you will need to actually produce the project. And you got to know who is actually willing to stick around and making sure that the project gets done. Because we all know what it's like when you have someone on your team and sometimes they slack off. But that's why you have to use something like Trello or Discord or Teams to be able to take notes, event plans, comments, and making sure you can get things done quickly without getting bogged down in the interface. Every app that you use should have a purpose. You got to make sure you can break things down and get things up and ready to go as fast as possible. Discord and Teams are great for communication. That's what we kind of used. And then Trello was this neat little app that let you break down everything into categories and see what everyone's working on, making sure you get to know what everything's doing each week to make sure the product is going up successfully. Important to keep track of tasks. You got to know what works or doesn't work. You got to make sure that's fast. You don't want to be only working for an hour while documenting that 1 hour into 3 hours of paperwork. No one likes reading documentation, but you got to know what everyone is up to. Lastly, we all have bad days, and that's okay, but you got to communicate them. When it comes to SIP and Pregnant Studios, you got to make sure everything is going on time. So when something does come a knock-in of like a problem and makes a snag in the production, you got to make sure you call out and be like, hey, something is wrong. As long as the team can understand what's going on, then usually you can find a way to fix the problem, get someone else on it, or just make new plans. The longer someone waits, the more time you lose is exponential. Lastly, everyone wants to have the perfect project, but at some point, you got to have a definition for done. Otherwise, you could just carry on, just trying to get everything just right. When at the end of the day, you're just probably getting like 1 to 2% of additional product for like 80 hours of work. At some point, you just got to let it go. We all have great ideas, so go make them a reality. Thank you.